So the Russian military has apparently been engaging in a violent, battle around a nuclear power plant. And so we have an update here on this. And I want to talk about what Zelenskyy has been saying in response to this. He made some interesting things that I just want to share. The Ukrainian nuclear operator says management at the SEAS plant is working at gunpoint. Management at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant in Enerhodar, I'm sorry with my pronunciations, is now working at gunpoint, the company that runs the station said. Petro Kotin, the head of the state-owned nuclear power generator, Erno Gotom, said on Telegram that the Russian forces entered the territory of the nuclear power plant, took control of the personnel and management of the nuclear power plant. The station management works at invaders' gunpoint. I love that they do refer to them as invaders, by the way. Kotin said staff were admitted to in the morning to perform their duties. He said the company does not have a direct connection to the station and is getting information from sources there. Status of the reactors: Kotin said the 6 reactors at the plant have fuel in each of them, while pre-reactor pools are storing spent nuclear fuel, the irradiated byproduct of the reactors. Kotin said that if the nuclear facilities were hit by shelling, it would lead to a nuclear disaster. So it seems that hasn't occurred yet. I'm not, again, I just want to be 100%. I am not educated at all when it comes to how nuclear power works, nuclear reactors. I am not educated at all, so I'm not going to make any grandiose statements here. I'm open to more information on this because, I'm not educated. That's not my field of expertise. But from the sound of it, and again, I'm just saying this from the sound of it, it doesn't sound good. If there's heavy artillery fire, like shelling, bullets being shot in the air, like fucking bombs going off in a nuclear fucking like power station, that just on the face of it doesn't sound so good. It really doesn't sound so good. And so again, I am under the impression that it would be bad, actually, if that were to take place. Now again, I want to share this image here as well, that I saw. This is, just the state of Ukraine at the moment. This is the city of Kharkiv before and after Putin's denazification. Again, he's doing a peacekeeping mission, as you can tell. These are the same buildings, one from like a Google Earth viewpoint and one taken after the battles going on. Zelenskyy has made a comment as well this morning, I believe, after the news of the nuclear power plant was, fought over and is currently being taken over by the Russians. Let's watch. So it seems like we're starting in the middle of this here, but I'm just gonna. Okay, let me. They now know they are shooting. They have been preparing for this. I appeal to all Ukrainians, to all Europeans, to all people who know the word Chernobyl, who know how many grief and casualties the explosion at the nuclear power plant caused. It was a global catastrophe. Hundreds of thousands of people struggled with its consequences. Tens of thousands of people were evacuated. Russia wants to do it again and already repeats, but 6 times more. Europeans, wake up, please. Speak to your politicians. Russian troops are firing upon the nuclear power plant in Ukraine. Establishment at a nuclear power plant, the city of Energodar. There are 6 power units. 6. 1 power unit exploded in Chernobyl. We contacted the leaders, our partners. I talked to Charles, Michel, to Scholz. I talked to Duba. I talked to President Biden. We contacted IAEA Director General Grossi and the Prime Minister Johnson. We warn everyone no state except Russia has ever fired upon nuclear power units. For the first time in our history, in the history of mankind, the terrorist state has resorted to nuclear terror. Russian propagandists threatened everyone. We remember to cover the world with nuclear ashes. Now, again, I want to pause here. So, Now, he's talking really fast, so, I just want to pause and take a break here. But, again, it's not good. Regardless of, would this possibly destroy the planet if this thing blew up? I don't know. I'm not an expert here. But again, also, if the Russians, are taking, who knows what the Russian military would do? What if Putin wants to use this as, what if he took it and then say, the Ukrainian workers destroyed the power plant and say that Ukraine fired the first, they could use this as a false flag. They could do a lot of things, and it's also again, they're firing bombs into nuclear power. It's just not good. It's a recipe for disaster. Now again, Zelenskyy, of course, is in the position where he is demanding a no-fly zone over Ukraine. He wants NATO to get involved. He wants Europe to get involved, because obviously his people are dying. He is in that position. He needs to demand that. Whether or not you think a no-fly zone is a good idea, I personally, if you want to go to war with Russia, it's a great idea. If you don't want to go to war with Russia, probably not the best idea. And I personally do not want to go to war with Russia. But what I want might not be, the most important thing here. And Zelenskyy is what he's trying to do here is he's using this. Now again, obviously, Zelenskyy is going to be promoting the Ukrainian side of things, so we need to understand that. But I tend to agree with Zelensky's presentation here. He is the president of Ukraine, right? So he is giving off the idea that he's basically saying Russia is using nuclear, attacks essentially. He is trying to say that this is in some ways equivalent to potentially detonating a nuclear bomb, and therefore he's escalating toward nuclear terror. And so, that's true. That is true. Now, again, did he drop a nuclear bomb? No. But it is true that he has escalated tensions in a nuclear fashion. So again, I tend to agree with Zelenskyy on this interpretation. But again, he's going to try to leverage this to get NATO and to get Europe involved. We are now at around, I think it's little over a week, I think, of this war in Ukraine. I don't believe Putin wanted this to last this long, but here we are. And I want to continue this statement from Zelenskyy. It is not a threat, now it's a reality. We do not know how the fire at the station will end, when there will be or won't be an explosion. No one can predict this for sure, that's true. But our men have always kept the nuclear power plant safe, so that there are no provocations, so that no one can capture the station, mine it, and then blackmail the whole world with nuclear catastrophe. The Russian military must be stopped immediately. Shout to your politicians. Ukraine has 15 nuclear units. If there is an explosion, it is the end of everything, the end of Europe. This is the evacuation of Europe. Only immediate European action can stop Russian troops. Do not allow the death of Europe from the catastrophe at the nuclear power plant. So again, he's trying to get everyone in Europe, and of course NATO, because Europe and NATO, if one Europe, it's not like, Germany can go to war and then no one else can. So again, Europe and or NATO, which means the United States. Now obviously, yes, Ukraine's president wants more help defending Ukraine. So we need to understand that. That's his position, and he needs to have that position. And I can't blame him for having that position at all. NATO so far has not involved themselves in this conflict, other than specific NATO countries providing weapons and aid to Ukrainian defenders. A lot of people from also Eastern European states have been going to Ukraine and participating in the war against the Russian invasion. But again, it is a big step if NATO gets involved. Now again, it is very well possible. I am not going to sit here and tell you that it is 100% avoidable that NATO eventually gets involved. This might be a World War II scenario. We need to really, there's a lot of people that, understandably, I get their point, are reflexively saying that there's no way that the U.S. should ever involve themselves in a war ever. And again, I understand that, because the U.S.'s history of imperialist aggression is horrible. But again, we are not in that scenario. This is a problem here. That might not we might not be able to just hope for the best and have it go away. So now obviously again, Zelenskyy is in a position where he feels that NATO is going to get involved no matter what, and they should get involved sooner than later to protect the Ukrainian people. And now again, that's his position. He is the leader of Ukraine, so obviously he wants to protect Ukrainian people. That's his priority. But again, it's very important to really understand here, this very well could be a World War III scenario. I know that no one wants it to be. I mean, obviously, the weapons industries want it to be. But this very well may be a World War III scenario. So, again, I personally, let's assume, all right, Russia completely captures Ukraine, installs, the puppet government from, 2013 or whatever. Is he really going to stop there? What's to prevent him from going into Poland? Or anything else? Why would they stop? Why would they go through this whole shindig, take over Ukraine, and then just say, all right, we're good? I don't know how this could be. I don't know how this could be de-escalated. I really don't. So again, I'm not, I'm just reporting the news here. I am very worried. I'm very concerned. I'm very, very concerned. I'm very concerned about this. And we're only a week into this, and it's escalating every day. Yeah. So Bodan says, USA and NATO may now stand aside and pretend it's not their war, but at the cost of hundreds of thousands of lives and safety of millions. We have the opportunity to eliminate the enemy right now once and for all, and they are missing this opportunity. Now, obviously, for those of you that don't know, Bodan lives in Ukraine. So, Bodan is very well aware of what's going on. That is what they are doing right now. They sit and wait until Ukraine protect everyone from Russia, but it may not be the case, and war will come to their homes as well. That's it. I am very concerned about that, for sure. I see no de-escalation. That's my problem. Is yes, I don't want the United States or NATO to escalate, right? I don't want them to escalate, make things worse. But how do we define these terms? I don't think that we can de-escalate. I don't think that we can go back. Right? So it's when does NATO involvement become proportional? I don't know. How many Ukrainian civilians need to be bombed before NATO involvement becomes is it really that one bullet needs to cross the border into NATO territory? Is that really what their threshold will be? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't see why. The only thing that I've heard people say in regards to this that would even be remotely de-escalatory away from a world war scenario is that Putin will take Ukraine and then he will have reunited the Russian people and then he'll just stop there. But I don't buy that at all. That's just Putin apologia as far as I'm concerned. But that's the only, that's even the only fantasy scenario. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not nearly educated enough on this to make any grand statements, so I'm not here to make grand statements. I'm just reporting the news. I'm experiencing this with everyone. And, you know, I don't know. All I know is it's scary. Even if we put aside the no-fly zone we are asking for, EU even refuses to give us their military airplanes to resist airstrikes. Yep. I don't know. Nobody knows is the correct answer. That's where I'm at. Like, my reflexive position is I want to be against war, but also I believe in the right of self-defense. I believe in standing up to bullies. I do. I think the U.S. getting involved in World War II probably should have happened sooner. But obviously, you know, again, I'm looking at that with the back lens here. But I don't know, man. I'm just a fucking YouTuber. I'm not here to like dictate what I think the fate of the universe should be, man. Like, I'm just a shithead fucking YouTuber like who does drugs all day. Like, I am not. This is above my pay grade. Like, I'm just saying, this is above my pay grade. But anyway, that's the update. Russian military is continuing to seize nuclear power plants. Things are escalating.